Hey, how's it going everybody? In this video, we're gonna learn different types of colors in HTML. So let's get started. And if you wouldn't mind, please help me out by smashing the like and subscribe button. So there are 4 types of color we can use in HTML. First, we got regular color names like red, green, and like that. Then we have RGB, which calculates the color through red, green, and blue. We have hexadecimal, which is a code for the color. And at last, we have HSL, which makes color using hue, saturation, and light. So let's start off with the regular color names. So let's add a paragraph tag and write something in it. Let's write, this is regular color name. There we go. And now we can add our style to add the color. In the first tag, we're gonna write style. There we go. And inside, we can write color. And here we can choose a lot of color from the menu. Let's say we want to make something pinkish color. So here I got a color. So as we can see, this is the name of the color, and when we put the name of the color, we can see this color is applied to our web page. So let's look at another example. Let's say we want to add something in H1. To do that, we're gonna go to the first line, then add our H1, and let's write this is a red heading. So here, let's say we want to make it actually red. So to do that, we're gonna write our style. There we go. And let's add our color to the name of the color. So this is red. There we go. And if we go here, we can see this is now red. So here I can generate some sample text. To do that, we're gonna write lorem. There we go. And if we click this, it's gonna give us some sample text like this. So let's say we want to style the whole paragraph. So first of all, let's put this in a paragraph tag. There we go. And let's copy this and then put inside our paragraph tag. There we go. And now if we come back and style this, let's say we want to make it some green color. So let's say color to green. There we go. So here we can see now it is green. But if I misspell it, it's not gonna work. Like if I write gray, it's not gonna work. As you can see, this is still black. So now if I correct this, it's gonna work. So that is how our normal HTML color names work. So the next type of color we're gonna learn is the RGB value. So here in Google, if we search for RGB color picker, we have a color picker. So let's say we want to add some yellowish color to our text. So to do that, we're gonna come to this color picker. So here we can see we have the RGB value for the yellow color. So first of all, let's copy this. There we go. And then we have to come to our code. And then let's write our style. There we go. And then we have to write color as well. So to add our RGB, we're gonna write RGB. And then we're gonna use 2 brackets. There we go. And inside, we have to paste the RGB value. So here I have the RGB value from here. And now if I go back to my web page, we can see this is very light yellow color right here. So let's look at another example. Let's say we want to make something white. Let's go to our color picker and then do white. So here I have the RGB value for the white color. Let me copy this real quick. And then let's go to our web page and let's write something. Let's write H2 and then let's write this is gonna be white. There we go. And now if I style this by writing style color and write RGB and put some brackets, and let's add our RGB value of the white. So here we can see we don't have the text anymore because the background is white. So let's say we also want our background to be black or something. So to do that, we're gonna use the background color style. Yep. And then let's add our black. So we're not gonna use that one. We're gonna use the color picker. So let's take it to the black section and we have 0, 0, 0. So let me copy this. Now we can write RGB brackets and paste our value. Now if I go back to my web page, we can see the background is now black and the text is visible again. So that is how our RGB values work. So the next type of color we're gonna learn is the hexadecimal color. So first of all, let's add a text. Let's write something in paragraph tag again. Let's write this is a text. Nothing too special. And if we go back to our color picker, and we can see there is something called hex. So hex stands for hexadecimal. So let's say we want to add some reddish color to the text. To do that, we're gonna pick a color. Let's say this one looks good. So here we can see some numbers and letters, and if we copy this like that, now if I go back to my code and then write style, there we go, and color, so we're gonna change color, and then let's press enter, and then here we can paste the thing immediately. We don't have to write anything. So that is how our hexadecimal values work. So the next type of color we're gonna learn is HSL. HSL stands for hue, saturation, and light. So hue is the actual color we're gonna pick. The saturation is how white or black it's gonna be. And light is the intensity of the color. So let's say we want to make this some kind of violet color. So to do that, we're going back to our color picker, and then we can see there is something called HSL. So here we can choose our color. Let's say we want to make some violetish color. So I think that's pretty violet. So here if I go and copy this and then go back to our code, we cannot paste it right away because that's gonna mess up our code. So instead we're gonna write style, color, and then we have to write HSL, and then we have to add some brackets as well. And inside the brackets, we're gonna paste the HSL value. So now we can see our text right here is violet color. So there's another thing in HSL which is called the alpha. So what alpha does is it adds some transparency to our text or background or whatever. So let's say we want to make the background color some violet color. So we're gonna change the color to background color. There we go, and here we have our background color as violet. So in the HSL value, we're gonna add alpha. So to do that, we're gonna separate with a comma and then add our alpha by writing something from 0 to 1. So let's say we want to make it somewhat transparent. So to do that, we're gonna write 0.5, maybe good. Here we can see we have the transparent violetish color. We can also change it and make it a little deeper. To do that, we're gonna use 0.9. So here we can see this is much stronger than the previous one. So that is how our HSL values work. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it and want to appreciate my effort, you can click the like button and subscribe if you think HTML is fun.